A lion is chasing you through the jungle, and if you stop, you're going to die. Do you think you're going to stop? No. Why? Because your life depends on you running. And if you have a strong enough why like that towards your goals, it will be very easy for you to achieve massive amounts of success. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that in this video. First of all, you need to understand that everyone thinks that a purpose is given by default. A strong purpose is given by default. Unless there is external circumstances forcing you to have a strong enough why. For example, your life is in danger and someone is chasing you, or it could be your parents is in danger and you have to like take care of them. It could be anything like that. If there's no strong external circumstances for you to take drastic action, most times you will never do that. And that's the case for 99% of the Earth's population, especially in first world countries like America and like the UK, where literally you could be scrolling on your phone for hours, especially as a teenager or as a young adult where your parents are maybe still helping you. And the thing is, if you don't have a strong enough why, you will never be able to live through anyhow. He who has a strong enough why can bear almost anyhow. So first of all, we have to understand, how do you develop a strong why? Well, you have to understand it's not given by default. So how then do you develop it? Which is the question you asking yourself. You develop it through pain. You develop it through struggle. You develop it through the days where you don't feel like your purpose means anything, but you stick to it anyways. Let me explain. Imagine you have a bad habit. Let's say you smoke once. You might not like it, right? You might cough and so on. But let's say you smoke again. It might feel just maybe a bit better. You're still uncomfortable, but the more you continue doing it, the easier it gets. And guess what? The easier it gets, now it becomes an ingrained habit, and soon you cannot stop smoking because you've done it so much. And that's how you want your purpose to be. You want to become almost addicted to your purpose, because you have to understand, we as humans, we're addicts to something. We're slaves to something. You're either a slave to Satan or you're a slave to Jesus. You're a slave to either your bad habits or you're a slave to your good habits. David Goggins is a slave to his good habits. All the fat people that you see in the world, that they're literally fat because they cannot control themselves, they're a slave to food. And the thing is, you have to be a slave to something. You have to literally be able to stick to one thing. Okay, so this is how you actually develop the habits. You have to understand that there's days where your purpose might not mean anything to you, but you have to stick to it no matter what. That's the only way your purpose can develop into something stronger. And here is why I believe that fully. First of all, wine, the longer wine stays in a bottle, the stronger it gets. So when you put juice in a bottle, right, if you've ever done that and you've just kept it there for days, it will literally become stronger and stronger. And that's the same way your purpose actually goes. Let me give you another example. Let's say our marriage is based on true values and the person actually really like the person. For example, there have been some girls in my life that I actually like them for like themselves, not just because of their looks and so on, but because of them, like I actually love them. So if you love a person deeply, right, most times, and it's not motivated by sex initially, and it should never be motivated by sex ever, right, then the longer you stay that person, their looks can fade, but your love will get stronger for them, especially when you go through multiple challenges together. Imagine if you go through multiple challenges with your brother together, you fight battles together with him, you literally go through so many challenges, you all came out of poverty together, you all work together, your relationship with that person will be stronger and stronger and stronger, and you'll trust them more, and literally it'll become stronger. So your purpose is the same way. Some days you might not feel like the marriage is working and you want to quit and you want to get a divorce. But if you stick through those things and you stick long enough, soon you will get to love the person more. And it's not like there's some days where it's going to be empty. It's the same thing with your purpose. There are some days where the purpose is going to be empty, but you have to stick to it no matter what. And that's what I told myself. Like, you might have a purpose of, oh, let me retire my mom. So many, people could have that, especially, young teenagers who would watch, they would watch like entrepreneurs and stuff. Retire your family, retire your mom. That's like a thing they use to motivate themselves. But what no one really understands is like, there's days when you don't fucking want to motivate your mom, bro. The porn on your screen is literally so much more captivating than than retiring your parents. The scrolling, the bad habits, the weed, the junk food, all of that is so much more motivating than literally than retiring your parents. So how then do you develop it to a strong why? You have to stick to it even on days when you don't feel like doing it. That's the only way it can get stronger. That's the only way your purpose can get stronger. And let me explain why. I used to always think that, your purpose means everything. Okay, your purpose means everything. But no, it doesn't. Because you can never develop a strong enough why immediately on the go. Imagine as a Christian, I always thought that, there was some purpose that it will be so strong that it will keep you. There is no purpose that is so strong by default. Because let's say you're a Christian, right? You could believe in God. But when you're now, people are telling you, hey, deny your faith or I'm going to kill you. Some people will deny their faith. Why? Because the purpose wasn't strong enough. So that means you could literally have any purpose. But if it's not strong enough, if it's not rooted in you, it won't matter what the purpose is. So some people think, if my purpose isn't God, it's going to save me. That's true to a certain degree. If God is really living in you, then yes, you'll have a strong enough purpose. But once we're talking about natural things, okay, we're not talking about spirituality here, right? If we're talking about natural things like natural goals, you have to develop a relationship with your purpose. And the thing is, sometimes you might achieve your purpose. Let's say now, you've stuck to, on the days when you don't feel like doing it, you still stick to your goal of retiring your mom. Now you retire your mom. Now you literally have no purpose. And now you end up into another existential crisis. And that's what happens to, sometimes athletes when they retire, because now their entire identity is shaken. So they have to develop a new identity and they have to chase another goal. Now you have to think of, okay, what do I want? Okay, what do you want? Maybe now that athlete wants to become an actor. Let's say he wants to become an actor in Hollywood. Okay, so what that athlete needs to do now is start chasing it. But the thing is, he doesn't have a strong enough purpose to become an actor like he did an athlete. Okay, so he needs to develop that, and there'll be some days where he hits it, but he'll still keep to it until his identity becomes rooted and grounded in that. And that's when you have a strong enough why. So that's literally what I'm gonna be doing to help myself become a millionaire. I have to literally tell myself that, hey, I am going to stick to literally my goals and my purpose even on days when I don't feel like it. And that's how it's gonna get stronger. Okay, that's the only way it can get stronger, because as I said again, there are some people who have such a stupid purpose. Some people, my purpose for waking up every single day is to get strong enough, to get rich enough to kill someone. Some people, their entire purpose is literally to literally end someone's life. Okay, because they have jealousy, or they might have resentment to that person, or they want to take revenge, right? They might have revenge and they want to avenge themselves or avenge someone that person hurt. Okay, that could be the entire life is based on that. And there's been wars fought over stuff like that. Okay, so you could imagine one man had a why of literally I want to literally avenge myself, and that's his why. There's some people who could have a purpose of there's just so many stupid purpose that people are motivated by. And what that should tell you is that it's not really some crazy purpose that's gonna keep you towards your goals. The purpose that you already have, your purpose could be, I want to show my friends that I'm better than them. I want to prove to everyone that hated me that I am something. That used to motivate me before. And that's why I was super motivated in the beginning. I was super motivated, I want to show people that online business could work, that I could, be successful with online business. So then I started pushing myself in online business to literally do that. But the thing is, when I became, I won't say I became successful like crazy in online business, but I'm literally making, a good amount of money from it. I'm living on my own. I'm, working whenever I want and so on. So I've achieved that to a certain degree. And that means my purpose now has to change. I need to get a new purpose. And that's why I was in this existential crisis for a little while of knowing, okay, why am I doing this? Okay. There's a reason why I want it. There's a reason why I want to become a millionaire. All right. And I could maybe be super vulnerable right now. I'll be vulnerable right now. The reason I want to become a millionaire, and the reason I want to, become, someone who's very successful, right? Surpass a millionaire, going beyond that multimillionaire, going on and making a lot of money, is because I want my self-respect. I did it with ChatGPT. My why is I want to have self-respect. I want to be someone that myself respects. I don't really respect myself. Some people sometimes tell me, hey bro, you're disciplined and you're very motivated and so on. But I don't see that about myself. I see myself as someone who's literally always living below their full potential. And it eats me up inside. It eats me up inside many times. And that is my true reason for wanting to be successful. My true reason is not for girls. It's not for accolades. It's not for lifestyle. It's not for anything like that. Because, yes, like, those things could pass away, and yes, it could motivate you. It's like things that I would be motivated by, obviously. But my deepest why is I want my self-respect. I want my self-respect. I've never respected myself. And anyone who knows me properly would know I don't respect myself. And I don't mean by like I would do bad things to not respect myself. Yes, that's obviously why I don't respect myself. But when I mean like the way I would talk about like, I'm just not disciplined, bro. Like I'm always like just doing the wrong things. I'm not as, and I could be very motivated sometimes, but because I'm not pushing myself to the maximum I know I can, I don't have my self-respect. Okay. So many people like literally, like someone's telling me like, I literally use your story to like motivate other people of how you were homeless and now you're like, you're making something of yourself and like literally you're doing all that. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But like in the back of my head, I'm like, bro, this is like fucking stupid, right? You should be so much more right now. And the thing is, I am behind in where I wanted to be in life. So my real why is I want my self-respect. I want to be someone who can trust myself, because right now I don't trust myself to stick to anything for a long period of time. And that is a why that I have. So why on some days would I still feel like, why am I doing this? It's simply because the purpose is not ingrained in me. And the longer you keep on letting your bad habits take over because your purpose doesn't feel strong on some days, then you will never build anything strong. So you have to understand that there will be some days where you perform without purpose, and that's what David Goggins meant. There will be days when you perform without purpose. It's impossible for you to live as a functional human being without a goal. So you will always have a goal, you'll always have a purpose, but some days the purpose will feel non-existent because it's not ingrained in you yet through pain and struggle and through sticking with it even when on days it doesn't matter. How do you make something important in your life? How do you make something important in your life? You literally give something importance by sticking to it and putting it above everything else. That's the only way to make something important. So if you want to make your purpose important and make your purpose strong, then put it above the feelings that you feel right now. Put your purpose above the bad habits that you want to indulge in. Put your purpose above that. And I'm not saying you need to be perfect now or beat up yourself when you fail, but just understand that feeling that you have of, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't feel like there's anything to do. It's because you have a purpose. You have goals. I'm sure that everyone has goals to some degree. And the reason why people reach up in an existential crisis is because the goals they were chasing, they did not achieve it. Okay? Everyone has something. Sometimes people say like, oh, I want to become a doctor, but now I see like, a doctor is not even what I want to become. You know what you want to do. Everyone has, for example, like I was in an existential crisis of I don't know what I want to do. And the reason that came was because I wanted to become a successful, business person, but because I wasn't sticking to it, it put me in an existential crisis. Like I'm not successful with that, so I'll always change in everything I was doing. Like I always tell, my clients that like if they don't want to stick to one business model, I'm like, bro, if you were making $1 million a month with that business model, you will fucking stick to it. So your problem right now is not that, literally you don't know what to do. You're not getting results with something and you have to stick with it. And your purpose will get stronger the longer you stick with something. Your purpose could be something evil or something good. Your purpose could be something trivial to you right now or important to you right now, but it doesn't matter if it's trivial or important. If you stick to it, that is when it will become ingrained inside of you and you will have a strong enough why that could bear any how. So hope that kind of makes sense. And yeah, I just recorded this video whilst I was doing a workout, but that's basically it.